A massive anti-terror operation is currently underway in the forested areas of India's Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian Army, the CRPF and the Jammu and Kashmir police are carrying out a joint cordon and search operation to now hunt down the terrorists who perpetrated the gruesome attack yesterday afternoon in which 27 Indian and foreign tourists were killed in cold blood. This is one of the major security operations that is taking place in the valley. Helicopter and drones are continuously on the lookout for the attackers. The NIA team that is probing the heinous attack is at the spot. It is collecting evidence from the site. Now, sources say that a local terrorist, Asif Fauji of Tral, was with the foreign terrorists at the time of the attack. However, an official confirmation is still awaited on this. The security agencies have also released the sketches of the 3 terrorists who were involved in the gruesome attack, while a massive search operation is underway in Pahalgam to hunt down the terrorists who opened fire at the tourists. National Investigative Agency, or the NIA, is carrying out the probe. Now, sources say that 2 of the terrorists involved in the attack have been identified as Asif Sheikh and Adil Ghori. Now, Adil happens to be a Lashkar commander who went to Pakistan in 2018 and had managed to infiltrate into Jammu and Kashmir again. The attackers are believed to be members of this outfit called the Resistance Front, an offshoot of the banned terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba. And they opened indiscriminate fire on the tourists at the popular Baisaran meadow in Pahalgam. And the Indian Prime Minister cut short his visit to Saudi Arabia in the wake of the terror attack. He is, of course, chairing the Cabinet Committee meeting on security. And the meeting, of course, follows the Union Home Minister Amit Shah's visit to the terror site in Pahalgam. The top security officials, including the National Security Advisor and the defense chiefs, are attending the government's review in response to the deadly assault. The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has reiterated India's very firm resolve of zero-tolerance policy against terrorism. The Defence Minister has vowed to go after those who've conspired and perpetrated this terror attack.
यहाँ मैं भारत के दृढ़ संकल्प को दोहराना चाहूंगा कि टेररिज्म के खिलाफ हमारी जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी है। भारत का एक एक नागरिक इस कायरतापूर्ण हरकत के खिलाफ एकजुट है। मैं इस मंच से देशवासियों को आश्वस्त करता हूं, घटना के मद्देनजर भारत सरकार वो हर कदम उठाएगी जो जरूरी और उपयुक्त होगा। और हम सिर्फ उन लोगों तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे जिन्होंने इस घटना को अंजाम दिया है, हम उन तक भी पहुंचेंगे जिन्होंने पर्दे के पीछे बैठकर हिंदुस्तान की सरजमी पर ऐसी नापाक हरकतों की साजिशें रची हैं। यहां मैं भारत के दृढ़ संकल्प को दोहराना चाहूंगा।
Home Minister Amit Shah had carried out an aerial survey of the Baisaran Valley. The security in the region has been heightened with a massive deployment of army personnel in Pahalgam now after the attack. Now, Amit Shah paid tributes to those who were killed in the terror attack in Pahalgam. He visited the police control room in Srinagar to pay the tributes. The Union Home Minister also met with the family members of the victims after bodies of 25 people were brought to Srinagar from Pahalgam. Now, the bodies are being taken via flights to respective states of the victims. All right, now to talk to us more on this, we're joined on this broadcast by General VP Malik, the former Chief of the Indian Armed Forces. General Malik, thank you very much indeed, sir, for taking time out and speaking to us here on WION. This is a somber moment for the Indian nation as a whole that is still trying to come to grip with the tragedy that has been perpetrated by these terrorists who have gunned down 27 innocent tourists who were in Pahalgam. In your assessment, do you think all red lines have now been crossed and there's a new threshold that's been created by the terrorists?
Good evening, Mr. Saleh. Firstly, it is indeed a dastardly incident that has taken place, and so many people have been killed. This kind of casualties have never occurred last so many years. Now, as far as cross-border terrorism is concerned, it's been going on for last 30 years. It has seen its ups and downs, but it has continued. And unfortunately, our Western neighbor, where they have always been encouraging jihadi elements, anti-Indian elements, and now they have also started encouraging anti-Hindu atmosphere. This thing has got aggravated because of the latest public speech made by the Pakistani army chief. And so that is the kind of incident that has taken place, horrific. People have been identified as Hindus, not just tourists, but Hindus, and then they have been killed on the spot at close range. So
right.
It is a very bad incident that has occurred. It reminds me of 26/11. As far as the red lines are concerned, yes, whenever there are high casualties, those are red lines. And we need to take action when those red lines are crossed. And I consider this also to be one of the incidents where the red line has been crossed. Now, the Indian government is taking the action both on the defensive side, carrying out investigation, how it has happened, how it was planned, where there were any weaknesses as far as the defensive operations are concerned, security operations are concerned, the intelligence failure, and how these people managed to, the militants, the terrorists managed to infiltrate
Right.
and then carry out this kind of activity. And obviously there will be some people who have come from across the border, and there will probably be some overground workers also who would have helped them.
Right.
So the action has to be taken, and I'm sure that is being planned both on the security measures as well as on the proactive measures that probably are necessary whenever a red line is crossed.
Indeed. Now, General Malik, there is at this moment a ceasefire between India and Pakistan that was agreed upon in February 2021. Now, at a time when India is, of course, calibrating a response to this gruesome terror attack that has been perpetrated quite clearly from across the border, what, in your assessment, would be the Indian response? And do you think this ceasefire that is in place between India and Pakistan can still hold?
Look, ceasefire has been broken quite frequently. It is not that the ceasefire has continued and people have obeyed on both sides. There have been many incidents of cross-border infiltration that have taken place, and then the firing has started off because of those incidents. So, in my view, the ceasefire hasn't really helped to check the cross-border infiltration that has happened. And because the attitude on the other side continues to be anti-Indian and to encourage the terrorists to cross the border and carry out mayhem on the Indian side of Kashmir. So there will be measures both on the defensive side, in which the unified command that we have got in J&K, they will be investigating along with the NIA and other agencies. They will go into details, and I'm sure they will have to strengthen measures. Like, for example, during the tourist season, we have a very large number of people who go to J&K, and then they spread out to these meadows where this incident has taken place. So we will have to review both the intelligence side as well as the deployment of the security agencies in all these areas. But that will happen once the investigation has been done and when we have come to some assessment of the situation as to why and how it has happened. But there are also countermeasures across the line of control, because as the defense minister himself said,
right,
that we will have to check the perpetrators, people who have conspired to do these things. I personally feel that the jihadis who have come and who have done this act, they are cannon fodder. But the planners on the other side, they have to be also checked in whichever way and whatever way that we can.
Absolutely, that is a crucial point there, General Malik. We need to see as to how the Indian government, of course, takes this forward. But a question that a lot of people would, of course, want to know is, the border between India and Pakistan is a very closely guarded, fenced border. With that being the case, how is it that we still have these infiltrations that keep happening every now and again? And how can India put an end to this?
Look, the fence cannot stop all infiltrators. They can check to some extent when there are large bodies trying to cross. But the fencing has to go over nalas. They have to go through over streams. So there are some loopholes available all the time to a determined terrorist if they want to. And what you are now seeing is that these people are coming in very small numbers.
Indeed. Thank you very much, General Ved Prakash Malik, for joining us with that perspective there.
Thank you, Mr. Salim.